The first paid teacher was wee Donald McLean, who lived in the close next here with his mother.
Just along in here in Otago Street.
Yes, in Otago Street, but we weren't here then.
Uh-huh.
And he was an interesting guy. He never did any other job in his whole life except piping.
My goodness.
And before the war, I think he was piper for a wee while at Poltalla Castle, and then at Luss. And then he was called up to the Lovat Scouts. But when he came out, he lived with his mother just in the next close here, and he taught piping. Taught Duncan Johnson, for example.
Did he?
And quite a few others.
Uh-huh.
But he also he came to the Wednesday night class and he taught there too.
I remember he judged for a long number of years.
Not all that much. Wee Donald wasn't all that keen on judging. Big Donald judged a bit more.
Yeah.
Big Donald McLean.
Uh-huh.
Wee Donald, I don't think.
Not so much.
No.
Okay.
He was a quite a shy chap. And anyway, the next one that we employed was Bob Hardy. So they were paid for their evening class. And after a while we got the corporation to help pay them because they were...
So Glasgow Corporation contributed
to paying people who were paid. But Tommy Pearson and Seamus and those of us like me who sort of, when you were older, you had to teach too. None of these folk were paid. And we continued that way. Then we were put out of Pitt Street because we were making too much noise. And
neighbours complained.
Neighbours complained. And at that time it was difficult to know what was going to happen. But Red Hackle, which is all this building over here.
Yes.
The two directors of Red Hackle, one of them was very well disposed to us. And Charlie Hepburn,
yes.
Hepburn and Ross, they started Red Hackle just after the First World War. And he gave us that top, middle, and it was a big hall.
I'm just going to turn this camera around here. And
so we were in there for about 3 years.
Yeah.
Maybe 3.5 or 4.
Yeah.
And it was just a big open hall. And the only stipulation was that we weren't to have dancing. And I'm not sure whether that was because of the structure, not wanting to thump it, or some other reason. But anyway, it was very, very...
But you had no neighbours below you, did you?
No, there's nothing below. That was a kind of workshop.
And I remember the floor of that. It was quite a rough floor, wooden floor.
No, just a wooden floor. It wasn't all that rough. Anyway, we were there, and one of the problems in an evening class was that we didn't have cubicles or anything, and when you had 3 or 4 teachers and a couple of young guys, it was quite difficult to not be. So we decided, Seamus McNeill, Tommy thought, what we needed was soundproof cubicles, like these.
Yes.
And so we made them just with simple material, and you have to have mass is what stops sound. So we had 2, these, what do you call these boards?
Sheeting.
Sheeting, aye. And in between we had ashes. And it made a very, very good soundproof thing. Tommy Pearson had a very good idea, which would have been cheaper. And he made one, and it was like a sentry box. So you, the trainee piper, sat in the sentry box, and the teacher, he might have had 4 of them. And you're all in there playing away, and you weren't disturbing anyone else because they were reasonably soundproof. And the teacher came along and opened the thing and said, right, but that was hopeless socially, because you, the pupil, was stuck away,
Yes.
And it didn't work. And so we started building these proper ones, which were nearly as big as these, not quite. But they were big enough to play the pipes, and the teacher could come in.
Roughly 8 by 6.
Aye, but not quite as big as that. But they were very, very good, and it made it work well. So when we
See,
came...
my memory's working. I went to that place across the road there. That's why I'm interjecting with talking about floors and cubicles, because I did go there when I was 12. And I remember these cubicles well, and Eddie McClellan, who you maybe mentioned.
Oh, he was a good teacher.
And the various others. You had a whole plethora of people come along.
Oh no, it was a wonderful, and we had several nights a week then. And so it continued.